Hey guys.
How are you? Welcome back.
Yep.
So for first-time viewers, welcome. For any of you who are returning, welcome back. And for those who don't know, I'm Chris.
And I'm Greg.
We are brothers. And this is our channel, Skylight.
Probably some of you think of it as a site that you see on YouTube. It's called Chris Bullock.
Yeah, we're going to change that.
We're going to change it to Skylight.
Yeah.
That's really what we want it to be. And if you originally found us on Higher Self on YouTube, it was under the title of Skylight. So
right.
That's what we're going to be doing. And
Yep.
we'll change up our website here at some point.
Yeah. And we also switched up our set, or where we're sitting right now. This is our amazing studio. So, I mean, we can turn it into anything. Next time we're going to be on a big yacht out in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there's like in this studio right here, there's an audience area for about 300 people.
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Yeah, it's up to you
But
guys.
it's just you guys there.
Yeah.
So just use your imagination.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what comes to mind for me is just to go ahead and just bring this up to get it out of the way, because it's always something, well, it's always up for me, and that is the energy coming in.
Yeah.
For us, or for me, it started back in September, but in a very specific way. It started during the last full moon, and which was the spring equinox, and ever since then,
Yeah.
it's just been coming in, and it cycles, it pulses, and it seems like at night it's where it really intensifies.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. So, and you guys know too, we're in it. So, so we had some thoughts.
Yep.
And we don't want to.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
Again, we've received a couple more comments from our videos, and so some of you are still very much interested in what we have to say. So
Some of you,
yeah.
Well, some of you thought we should be wearing lipstick and wigs and stuff like that. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, right. But anyway, that's why we're back. So we're back again, and we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, as always, we appreciate your comments. We find them very useful. If we were to sit here and just be talking heads, just aimlessly talking about things, it probably would get very boring very quickly. But because we have your feedback, it gives us something to address. And some of the comments, well, actually, many of your comments have been really, really useful and very, very significant, actually. And one of them in particular that we noted that might be useful to a wider range of you.
Yeah, we
hopefully.
We actually had quite a conversation around this yesterday.
Yeah.
And felt that there might be something that we could actually then sit down and do a video about.
Yep. So we did have quite an intense conversation yesterday about this. And as a matter of fact, ever since the comment came in, we've been chewing on it for a while, and it's been working me and my consciousness for a while, just thinking about it and how might I address it. Because the comment was along the lines of, not along the lines, it was very much about transmutation. And how did we accomplish that? Because this person wanted to be able to be of assistance to others where this transmutational process might be really valuable to them. So it's really, there's no really simple answer, like there's no magic wand that you can come up and go, ding, you're transmuted. Or there's some special mantra or some chant, or there's some kind of breathing technique or something. All of those things, except for the magic wand, all of those things like meditation or breathing or mantras or whatever it may be, affirmations, those things are all useful tools in the whole process of transmutation.
Yeah.
But no one single thing can accomplish it.
And one of the things that was presented in the question related to someone who's doing some, in a lot of ways it's coaching, this individual's involved in what people call an addiction program, where there are people that come to them that are so-called addicted, and there are the counselors to deal with those individuals. And so it was kind of the question was posed relative to that dynamic, but we kind of thought that probably it's a topic that applies to all of us.
And all departments of living, by the way. There's
not that you're all addicted. I'm not saying that.
Right.
That the topic of transmutation is something that applies to all of us, or can apply to all of us, and does apply to all of us, because we've all experienced some transmutation. Maybe we didn't realize that's what was happening, but so be it. You know?
Yeah. So in the course of life, all of the time, in the unfoldment of creation and what we call time, and as we know, time is actually an illusion. It's a certain translation or belief system or structured thinking that we have about how creation unfolds in the present moment. And so we've created this thing called time. But in the cosmos, in this unfoldment of the cosmos, there is always transmutation. There's no such thing as creation without transmutation.
True.
I can't move my arm or do anything without this. Let's see, like my arm in this position, and it goes to this position. That doesn't exist anymore. This does. That had to pass away. This is a complete change from that.
Sounds pretty basic.
Yeah. It is really basic, but you see, we're living in a world where there's actually some really magical things happening. So there's this constant process of transmutation taking place all the time. In the normal course of our lives, transmutation is taking place. And now we have this amazing inflow of this amped up energy. And that's coming in, and it's intensifying the transmutational process.
And opportunity. Well, actually, transmutation will happen one way or another.
It's going to happen.
It's not like you have a choice about transmutation, or any of us have a choice about transmutation, because, like you were saying, that's what creation is. But it can happen pretty much two ways.
Yeah.
Pretty much two ways.
Yeah.
And how that happens is our choice.
Yeah.
One is it's the natural unfoldment of the moment, and we can either resist what's happening and experience a transmutational process that goes that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we can look at it from the standpoint of participating consciously and in step with the emerging energy of life, the current of life, the cycle of life right now, and participate with it, and the transmutation takes us this direction.
It's a personal choice. I mean, that's where, when we've spoken before about welcoming the energy or embracing it, it's really in our best interest if we do that. Now, here's the thing, here's the tough pill. It's going to be a challenge, even on this ascending process. It's a challenge. It's going to be really challenging going the other way too. Not going to be pleasant, because if you resist the process, those energies that are coming in will break down that which is resisting the energy. So the energy's coming in, and it's like we said before, I can't remember what video it was. It was something you spoke about, where you said, this is a golden opportunity served up on a silver platter. Well, that's what this is. This is an amazing opportunity. It's not like we get to opt out. Well, no, actually you can. You can opt out, and you can, there's the side effect of that. But there's no middle ground. Let's put it that way. You can't sit on the fence in this process. You have to choose one or the other.
Well, so there can be the sitting on the fence experience, and it's incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have to choose at some point. You have to say, I'm not up for it, and then experience that. Or I'm really up for it, and experience that. Yeah. Either one, by the way, there's going to be intensity. So there's going to be, yeah. So we have a choice to make here. So transmutation is something that's happening all the time. And there, like we said earlier on, there's no magic wand. There's no real simple answer to any of this. It really is based upon our choices. You mentioned addictions, or people who are dealing with what people call addictions. And that's an interesting word, and it's got all kinds of, to me, I think, totally false definitions and interpretations and all kinds of false understanding around what that is. It's a totally disempowered state. You embrace that word and take on all the energy that goes along with addiction.
And you have no power.
You're totally disempowered.
You're actually, by assuming, I agree with you, by assuming that perspective, you're basically saying, I'm powerless.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about this.
This thing has power over me.
Yeah,
it's telling me
yeah.
what I can and can't do.
I'm flawed. I have a genetic predisposition to affirmities.
He's an afflicted person.
I have afflictions. So it's totally disempowering. So this is a very controversial topic. There's no doubt about it.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Hopefully it stirs things up for people.
And it will. And so I'm feeling, how to put it, just a little maybe uneasy a little bit, but I got to get over that, because we have to actually speak directly, because actually there's no value to what we're going to present or what we're presenting if we beat around the bush.
Yeah, and by the way, if it's true, a lot of times, if it's true, it makes you uncomfortable.
That's fact.
Because it challenges the status, your comfort zones. It challenges your own personal status quo. It may challenge a larger cultural status quo. So there. Oh, by the way, you want to know another one? Nicotine. I saw a commercial on TV the other day where they said nicotine. Warning: nicotine is an addictive substance. No, it's not.
Yeah, that's right. And I will challenge you on this, that there is no such thing as an addictive substance.
Right.
And I want to give you kind of a line of thought to use to understand where I'm coming from on this. We, all of us, are expressions of Creator, right? I think if you're watching this, that's a perspective I believe you have. So being that we are expressions of Creator, we have all of Creator's abilities, not to create like a whole universe.
Not that we've actually totally accessed or fully developed or actualized all of the creative abilities that are really our gift. But yeah, we have those abilities.
We have the abilities. We were given, our minds, our emotions. We have the physical form. We have visualization capability. We have all of Creator's capabilities. So that being the case, if we are individual expressions of Creator,
which we are,
I believe, then how could I become addicted to something? That would say that Creator has created substances to which Creator could become addicted and not have any power over.
Which makes no sense.
Right? Doesn't that sound just insane? Of course that's untrue. So the fact of the matter is it's a belief system that we are addicted. It's totally untrue. There's nothing that has power over Creator. And since I say that I believe it's true that we are expressions of Creator, that we can't be subject to anything in our worlds. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. There's nothing. So when there's the belief system about being addicted, along with that goes all of the baggage of I'm flawed, I'm afflicted, I have a disease, I'm powerless.
That's an identity.
It's all an identity.
A false identity.
Right. And so, and then there's this whole industry that's been built up around that belief, right? That says, yes, you are addicted. Yes, you are flawed. Yes, you are damaged. Oh, and here's another one. If you drink enough or you do drugs enough, you will actually damage your body, right? And that will then be irreparable. I think that's a lie too, because do this. Go out and eat sugar for the next month and eat it to excess. And I promise you, it will acidify your body and damage it. But you know as well as I do that it will be repaired as you correct your behavior.
Right. Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key. There's no addictive substance. It's a behavioral issue. And here, I want to kind of try to tie this together with the whole topic that we've opened up here about transmutation. Because if we really want to know what transmutation is, we have to take responsibility. So I know what I'm talking about here, but as far as like abusing substances, I was there. I lived it for a long time.
Me too.
I did it for a long time, and I've proven to myself that Creator can actually change anything, because Creator's not subject to anything. Creator is in position to create and recreate, to heal for Creator's purposes. So, how do we tie this together to continue a line of thought that stays coherent here? With doing with people that say that they're addicted. Well, there's the whole industry around it, right? Well, the people say, oh, I'm an addict or I'm an alcoholic, so I have to go to rehab. And you go to rehab and you've got doctors and nurses and industry and drugs and all kinds of things that have built up around that, saying you are flawed, you are sick, you're defective,
you
you're
are subject to this stuff.
You are subject to these things, and consequently keeping you pigeonholed in that state of consciousness.
So the thing is that they keep you pigeonholed actually through external voodoo, if you want to call it, black magic, telling you this stuff and saying these phrases over and over and putting it in print and putting it on TV and putting it in the news and putting it everywhere you want, saying that you are subject to these things, that you can be addicted to these things. And what they're doing is reinforcing in you the conviction or the belief, the conviction that you have no control, that you have no power over your feelings.
But you do.
Because what has been typically called alcoholism, it's a behavioral thing. It's a behavioral thing. And what it comes down to is, when I say behavioral, I'm saying stimulus, response.
Yeah.
Stimulus, response.
It's that simple.
I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to have a drink to take the edge off. I still feel uncomfortable, I'm going to have another drink. I have another drink because, I feel uncomfortable. So there's this stimulus response. We've built up and we've reinforced it. It feels like this, at times it may seem like this overwhelming thing that we can't stop. And so then we say, yes, I'm addicted to alcohol, or I'm addicted to drugs, or I'm addicted to nicotine. It's like, no, you're addicted to your stimulus response. You are caught in that loop. It's not the stuff. It's in you. It's in your own consciousness. And you actually have the power to stop that if you want to. And that's the big key. If you really want to, you can and you will. And it's not a struggle.
Okay, this is the big one. What you're saying is absolutely true. If you want to change, you can.
Right.
Now,
if you want to, you will.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
What do you love the most, right? So, oh man, this is a huge topic. This is a huge topic. And you know that. So we're going to continue here, and we're going to keep pushing your buttons. Let it, and if you can't handle it, turn it off. Okay.
Yeah.
So
this is about empowering you.
Exactly.
This is about empowering you and getting you out of this loop and this black magic garbage that's going on in the world. That's disempowering us all the time. So that's what this is about. And I feel intense about this, and I know he does too, because it's not true.
It's not true. And if you want to change the world, I mean, we have this opportunity right in front of us. Oh boy. So let's say, I'm not saying you are an addict or you're an alcoholic, or I'm not who I'm talking to. I'm not saying you are. I'm just going to say in a generalized sense that people do abuse. I did.
So did I.
Okay? So I was functioning, excuse me, I'm almost, anyway. So getting excited. So frothing at the mouth with this, you know. So
that's it. So he's passionate.
So I was living in that stimulus response phase, and it was repetitive, and it was just like this little snowball, right? And it started going down the hill, and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point.
I can't stop.
And I didn't believe I could stop.
Yeah.
I thought I had to keep drinking to be like, to deal with my life. I have to drink. Yeah. I need to drink. I can't stop. I know I can't. And then it's inside. I was like, I have to stop.
Yeah.
This is nuts. I can't keep doing this. It's gonna kill me. So
wasn't it at the same time? Didn't you at the same time also know? I know I can stop. I know I can do this.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
I know
I
can stop.
That's
Why
true.
am I still doing this?
Yeah. Because there's the belief that you can't, or that you need that. So it's this self-reinforcing. It's a feedback loop, and it's going the wrong direction. What we need to do is be involved in a feedback loop that sends us in the ascension process rather than the disintegrative cycle.
Yeah.
So where I suppose I could go now is, why did you even start drinking in the first place? Or why did I even start drinking in the first place? Why do people do drugs? Why do people work too much? Why do people have too much sex? Why do people exercise too much? Why do people eat too much? Why do people, what's another one? Shop too much. Did we already say that one? I don't know.
Well, here's, criticize and judge and blame and complain and all that. That's all part of trying to satisfy pain.
And also, pain, but also the knee-jerk. Well, for me, the knee-jerk reaction was, I want to be happy, and I'm not, because of the wounds that you're talking about. I'm not happy. So what do I have to do? With the knee-jerk thing for me was to go start drinking alcohol, because as I did that, it made me feel better for a little while. So I thought, well, there it is. I could just start doing that every day. Whenever it comes on and I feel a little bit uncomfortable or I'm in pain, I could drink, right? Well, so what I really want to get at here is the core issue was, I want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be happy. So I think at the root of all of the behaviors that we look at that we call addictive, it's really got its root in wanting to be happy, wanting to know the kingdom of heaven on earth.
Yeah.
For real. We want
real.
that. That's why we do these things.
Yeah.
So at the root of working too much or wanting too much money or thinking you have to buy cars and houses, credit cards. There's a good one right there. So some people, they get into debt beyond belief because they have this addiction. They think it's an addiction. You won't call it an addiction.
Stimulus response.
Stimulus response. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm unhappy.
I'm going to go buy that. I can have it right now. I'm going to go get it. You buy it and you're not happy. You do it again, think it's going to work. Same thing with alcohol. Take a drink, think it's going to work. It never does. So we kind of tie this back into transmutation and ascension and our personal responsibility in this. I feel like I'm hogging the whole thing here.
You are. No, it's fine.
So
it's fine.
I'm a little passionate about this because I've been there and I know what I'm talking about, and I know he does too.
Yep.
This is not belief. This is not concept, and it's not theory.
No.
We know this.
It's true. So one of the other things that we've all been conditioned into in this world, the way it is now, it wasn't always this way, but it really has been since maybe in the 70s, somewhere around there, with the introduction of credit cards. We've gotten into this instantaneous gratification mode of function. So we've really built up a resistance to something that takes some time to accomplish. I want it now. I want my transmutation today. I want it now. I don't want to have to work for it. Work. Boy, there's another one. That's what work has gotten a really bad rap. There was a very wise man once, and I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but he said that work was love made manifest. In order for love, in order for creation to happen, to take place in our lives, if anything really, truly worthwhile is going to happen in our lives, it happens because we work for it. It's not something that's handed to us. Now, when we said it's a golden opportunity on a silver platter, that's not saying that what's on this silver platter, here, you can just have it. It was like a movie in Star Wars where this young kid wanted to be a Jedi. I want to be a Jedi.
Oh, no, master.
I want to be a Jedi master. It's like, well, you're not. Well, I want to be. It's like, well, it's so childish. So, I want to be a master. I want to be enlightened. I want to have an evolved consciousness.
But I don't want to do the work.
I don't want to do anything to get there. Well, then you're not going to get there. And that's the hard lesson. What?
I want to climb to the top of Mount Everest. Well, you can if you want to, but you got to work at it.
Yeah, you've got to do the work necessary to get there. So transmutation, the idea that somehow there's this magical ding and you're magically transmuted. That's not the way it works. No. It's a process, and it's a personal choice, and you have to really want it. And it's not just one area of your life, it's all areas of our lives. And today we're talking about one particular area relative to transmutation, and that has to do with, we're talking around so-called addictions.
And it just happens to be a useful topic right now because it's real clear, it's real easy to understand.
Yeah.
But man, does it have a lot of weird baggage around it that have fooled people.
Yeah, and with it, lots of shame, and lots of fear, lots of guilt.
Yeah.
Major shame, and then the fear that's associated with, well, if anybody knew how much I drank, how many people are closet drinkers. I tried it in many ways to try to hide it so that people wouldn't know that I was drinking heavily because of the shame. Because I knew inherently I'm more than that. Yep. I'm being subject to my own, not to anything else, not to alcohol. I'm disempowered in my own consciousness. If there's any sense of shame, or feeling bad, it's the fact that I'm allowing myself to be controlled by something that's not me. It makes no sense.
Yeah. So here's one. This applies to people in your world. Let's don't even talk about you.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about people in your world that because you're probably not you're not functioning in such an aberrant way that I was of drinking all the time. You're probably a lot healthier in that way than I was. But you may know people in your world that might be following out behaviors with substances that aren't creative, right? So then we all think, well, I better tell them they shouldn't be doing that, right?
Yeah, no.
Well, it's none of our business.
No.
We may love them. We may love them very much. They may be somebody very close to us, but it's none of our business to try to interfere in their life process, in their life journey. And I'm speaking about this from my experience. This goes back to another video we did, but we told you guys that we did therapy and that kind of thing. Well, the very first therapist I tried out, you go out, you try them on, by the way. You don't just take the first one that comes along. So I tried on this therapist, and the very first session, he just said, "Are you drinking?" And I said, "Yeah, too much." He said, "Stop." I knew right then and there, he wasn't the guy to help me. He was focused on symptoms rather than getting to the cause.
And that comes back to the premise. If you're dealing with symptoms, your premise is that the person is the body, their emotions, their feelings, their body, and their thoughts. You're addressing the identity as being that. That's totally backwards. The cause is what you need to get to. And the only way to get to the cause is to be identified with that which is not the cause, because we're not the cause. The pain, it's that stimulus response. It's that loop in consciousness.
Where, like you're saying, the pain, there's wounding. Tell me who hasn't been wounded, right? We've all been wounded. When we're starting from when we're little kids, we've all been wounded in ways that you probably, most of us are like, we don't even really remember
right.
how it all happened, but it's happened to all of us. And so a lot of those wounds come up in our everyday experience. And you know what happens now? With these energies coming in, it's bringing up those wounds. And so what people are going to start doing, they're going to use their current mode of coping, which if it's drinking, if it's smoking pot, if it's doing narcotics.
Well,
if
pot's
it's
a narcotic too.
Well, sure. Well, yeah, it is. That's right.
Yeah.
Or if it's working too much, or if it's shopping more, whatever your coping mechanism is, if you think it's coping, because it really isn't, avoidance or whatever it is you're trying to make yourself happy. With these energies coming in, it's going to bring up all the wounds and some of those behaviors that have been defining our lives for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably are really putting in a big appearance right now.
Yeah,
and you might be struggling with it now more than ever, and you're scratching your head going, what's going on?
Yeah, because what's going to happen is if you follow those out and keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and it doesn't bring you any real relief or satisfaction, you're going to get painted into a corner so that you're face to face with, well, it's obviously not that thing that's going to take care of it.
That's a good thing, too.
It is. When you get painted into that corner so that it can come to point where there's no way out and you have to come to terms with the situation. So this is really a wonderful opportunity that's before us now on this planet. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to get through this thing without some hard work.
That's right. There's no way of escaping this. And sorry to say it, but there are a lot of people in spiritual circles, and if I step on some toes here, so be it.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people in so-called spiritual circles that want to do something that I call, and I know you call, flying. You want to try to get away, get out of here, go, okay, well, I don't do drugs and I don't drink, but then we go off into flights of fancy, and we actually separate ourselves from our own capacities where the pain is,
right.
And we try to live in some sort of fanciful realm where you can't really do your work.
Yeah,
but that's understandable too. And I'm not saying that to cause shame or guilt or to blame or criticize. I'm just saying it's a fact. It happens.
Yeah, yeah. I was a part of a spiritual program a while back, and it under the pretense of being spiritual, but it was really just a mental process, and they got lost in all this mental activity, which is another way of escaping, is to get totally involved in thinking and mental concepts and structures. And what's needed now in this day and age is where we've got to get down to earth, we got to get grounded, and we've got to get real about what's really going on in our lives.
Yep.
And I can say our lives because we're doing this channel because we've done a little bit of work. Okay?
We've been through some stuff.
We've been through some stuff. Our lives were hard when we were kids. So but there are a lot of people's were. So I'm not trying to separate myself from you guys, but because we've gone through some work and we've been around for a while. We've got a little life experience. Our desire is if we have any light to shine in the world that's real. And by the way, any light, any real light that we have to share, if it's real and authentic, it's because I've actually done the work. It's to that extent that I have light. Anything else than that is imagination. It's concept and theories and imagination, and it's worthless, except that it might be useful in pointing somebody in a direction. But to make it all about that, it's worthless. All that's needed now, and what's needed now, and it's the only thing that's needed now, is to get grounded and to get real. So,
it's my turn.
Yeah, whatever.
No.
So we're interested, by doing this channel, of bringing some light, okay?
Real light.
Real light. And sharing it with the world. for anybody to whom this might be of value. Now, I'm still in the process of what you could call attraction toward and complete union with Creator.
Or yourself.
Yeah, with myself. But when I'm talking about being in process or attraction to and union, I'm talking about my consciousness. I'm talking about my mind, my heart, my feelings. My body's coming along for the ride. But I'm in process in my consciousness. I don't think that we will ever get our capacities into complete union with Creator. I think that will be an eternal process of evolution. And I think it's designed that way, because what would happen if you got there? It'd be like, well, now what?
Well, if you got there in a couple weeks, I mean,
what would it be worth?
Oh my God, now what?
Now what? Yeah. So we can look at this situation, and I have, believe me, I look at my life situation sometimes and I think, oh my God, oh, this isn't fun at all. But from a true perspective, from the being that I am, from that ray of light of Creator that's at the core of my being, this is an amazing creative opportunity. It's challenging, yes, it's challenging. So we both are still in that process of ascension. We haven't arrived.
Yes,
we're not going to. I haven't arrived.
I apologize.
We haven't arrived, and we're not going to ever claim that we have. So we're in process, but we want to shine some light into the world. That's why we're doing this. And so in this creative process now, if we have something of value to offer to you guys, we're delighted. And that's why we feel that what we've been through and where we're at in our experience is of value to share with the world.
Yeah. This is a huge topic. So I want to take it into some new well, it's all the same territory. So it's still about transmutation. It's about ascension, because that's really all we really are. That's what we want to be about.
Yeah.
So to do that, it's work.
Yeah.
So if I want to take my experience of being someone who drank way too much. Some of you might want to drink. Somebody may ask me, do you want to drink again, Greg, now that you've got the thing under control? And I'd say, no, of course not. Why would I want to drink? It's a lower state of consciousness. For me,
it's a vibration. When I put that stuff into my body, it's like, wow, I'm interested in evolving. And I don't say that in being judgmental toward anybody who wants to consume alcohol still. For me, I want to be about something else. Yeah. And that's why I don't drink anymore.
So about the transmutation, to move from a state of experience where I felt that, where I was in a loop, where it was a feedback loop, where I just kept drinking and 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 drinking, for a long time, to a point where I don't. It wasn't because somebody stepped in, like, of course you were drinking too much too, so you couldn't have stepped in to save me.
Let me help you out, man. You need to stop.
Right, like that's going to work. So, but interventions are a complete waste of time and incredibly self-righteous. You've got to let people do what they're doing. And that's a hard thing to do when you love somebody. You've got to leave them alone. Yeah. Because they will not stop until they're ready.
Yeah.
And for me, I got to the point, in a previous video, we addressed this a bit. So there may be, this is a big part of the topic too, actually. There may be people, and not maybe, there are people that are in so-called, they call it recovery. And there is a recovery period where you're getting over your habit pattern.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. There's no getting over being addicted, because like I say, I don't believe it exists. But there are programs where people are going through rehab or recovery or whatever, and they're there because they feel ashamed or guilty. Someone made them feel, someone pushed their buttons, let's put it that way, and triggered shame and guilt in their experience, and they start feeling badly about themselves, so they felt, I'm no good and I'm a bad person because I drink, and that without examining the fact of why you drink. It's because you wanted to be happy, really, that's really what it was. So you go to these programs and you're trying with willpower to stop doing something you really don't want to stop. So, you know, you don't want to. So then you fall off the wagon, they call it. And then you feel even more ashamed and guilty because you're no good. I'm addicted. No, you're not. You're just not ready to quit yet. That's really all it is. You're just not ready. You have to go through your life process. Now, that's not to say that you may not want to say something to one of your loved ones. They're like, boy, it pains me to see you drinking so much. But please don't try to be a do-gooder and change their lives. Don't gather all your friends together and go there and corner them and intervene and make that person feel like a pile of refuse. You don't want to do that. That just makes it worse.
You know what shame does to people?
They turn away.
They turn away from the light.
Yeah.
Not outside, within themselves.
Yeah.
So that's one of the most damaging things you could do to a person. One of the most disempowering things you could do to a person is to shame them from facing the light in themselves, from honoring and doing the work in themselves. So
I want to just speak. This morning I was speaking to Chris about a little microcosm of that same kind of behavior. Every day I set out for myself on the counter in the kitchen my supplements, and I have a whole bunch of them that I'm taking. I'm just, some of you may look at it and go, well, you're nuts. You take so many supplements. But it's not, it's good stuff. But I take them and I set them out for me and I put them out for my brother, right?
Yeah.
And I notice.
An act of love.
It's an act of love.
Yeah.
But I notice, I take my supplements every day. I notice there are times when he doesn't take them and they just stay on the counter, right? Yeah. So it occurred to me today that, wow, maybe Chris doesn't want to take supplements. And I don't think I should be saying to you, you really should be taking supplements.
No, I don't want to.
Well, see, that could be the case, right? He may not want to.
No.
But then if he does, and he's doing it because he doesn't want to hurt my feelings, or he wants to make sure that I'm appreciated, or he loves me, so he'll do something that's untrue for me, so that I'll feel better about myself, just to make him happy, or he'll try to make me happy by doing something that he really doesn't want to do. Well, that's a crock. We don't want to do that. We want to be legitimate with each other. We want to be real with each other. And we have to do that. We have to give each other space to be who we are and honor what our individual life mission is. We're identical twins. We've said that before. But just because we're identical twins doesn't mean we're the same person and we have the same exact life mission. In some ways we do, but in many ways we don't.
Yeah, I have my own unique state of consciousness. He has his own unique state of consciousness. You have your own unique state of consciousness. Thank God for that. It makes us all different, doesn't it? As we did mention in one of our previous videos, we share the same identical genetic material, right? From the same parents. And mankind, all of our genetic material is really actually very closely related, all of us. So that is actually a symbol of oneness.
Yep.
So, but we all have our own unique vocalizations of consciousness within this bigger world or bigger sea or whatever you want to call it of consciousness. And it's when we honor each other and for where that person's at in their process. So I think this is a valuable consideration in light of transmutation.
Well, there's more we can say about that, too.
Yeah, but I don't want to use it all up right now, otherwise we don't have anything to talk about.
Well, let's go ahead and let's finish this thing.
All right, well, I'm not sure what you want to talk about.
Well, I just want to talk about how there's the need, what's required to do the process, to go through transmutation, to change behavior.
Yeah.
You can't be lazy.
No.
You've actually got to take hold of your capacity. You have to be willing to feel your feelings. You have to be willing to feel what your feelings are saying and not have your feelings dictate to you what to do.
That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I was about ready, I wanted to cut it off, but that's a key point. It's work.
It's work.
To
change means work. And people, I believe, and I think you do too.
They want a quick fix.
They want the quick fix.
Yeah.
Just give me a pill. Make me stop drinking. Well, I'll tell you what. what would be the point of you being here if you don't take responsibility for your consciousness?
So, I want to get into heaven. Well, why would we want you there?
You'll just mess it
You'll
up.
just mess it up with your drinking.
And that's not like a put down. It's just saying we don't get to go,
No.
we don't get to move into the higher realms of experience, bringing along everything that doesn't belong there.
It going from a purely three-dimensional and somewhat fourth-dimensional experience, having that primarily what's going on here, it's allowing, I mean, if you look at it, fourth and dimension, third dimensional stuff, it's all lower vibrational stuff. It's not that it's bad, it's just lower vibrational stuff. We want fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, seventh dimensional, eighth, ninth, whatever, to be here. There's got to be room for it to be here, and that requires transmutation of consciousness.
And I just thought of something here to clarify what I just said, because actually it's not really that accurate what I said. It's not laziness.
Okay.
Laziness comes into it when you're trying to use willpower to change. When you really want to change, you just do.
Yeah, that's a great point. I remember when
You just do.
Yeah.
You don't try, you just do it.
because you really want to.
Yeah, because you want to change. You've said, I'm done, I'm finished, I'm not going to do that anymore, and goodbye.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. But it still requires work because...
It does require work, but you're willing to do the work.
You're willing to do the work.
You really want to change.
Because you really want to change.
Yeah.
And then the work becomes a lot of fun. It becomes an adventure.
And fulfilling.
And fulfilling. And it's like, oh, here comes that weird feeling that I always used to drink. It's like, okay, so here's that feeling. Okay, I'm not going to use it to drink anymore.
And that's key.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that the addiction are the feelings that they have. Oh, it's the addiction. No, it's to the stuff. That's what I'm feeling. My body's addicted to this. No, it's not. It's just a feeling.
Well, yeah, and it's also, so our feelings, we're not addicted to our feelings either unless we choose to be.
Right.
And addicted to our feelings means we're subject to our feelings. I had an experience this morning I'd like to share with you.
Okay.
In this ascension process, I personally have had, you've had it happen at times too, some really crazy kundalini energy. And I'll call it some strong sexual energy. And man, there's the whole sexual field.
There's a whole topic.
That's a whole topic in itself. That's a topic where I'm not an expert in all of this, but I'm learning to understand more about what sex is in my own experience. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I don't think there are very many people on this planet that really know what the true sexual function is for mankind. I think we've been accustomed to lower 3 chakra sexual stuff, where it basically is, oh, I feel sexually attracted to you, and you feel sexually attracted to me. We must be in love. It's like, I don't think so. So when the sexual energy moves, I don't know about you, but for me, because of my upbringing...
Believe it or not, even older people still have sexual energy.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. It's an amazing thing.
It's a miracle.
We should bottle it, or whatever it is that's happening.
Yeah. So, so this strong sexual energy comes up, and there's been a tendency for me to want to, no. And I'm really embracing it now. And what I'm doing is I'm letting the feeling come into my experience.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. You're
saying that the sexual energy, what's happening? I mean, what's going on? When does this happen? What is it you're talking about? I mean, and does it happen because of visuals, or does it happen because of...
I don't know.
It's just like a kundalini?
It's just a kundalini energy thing that'll happen. And it's usually when I'm in the morning, sometimes at night too. And it just happens. And it's just this strong energy, and I have tended to want to resist it. Because in the past, this is very, very similar to the abusing alcohol. The feelings that would come up and in the past would control me relative to alcohol, or that I would use the feeling to drink. In the past, the sexual energies would come up, and then I think, I've got to do something with this. let's
Yeah.
go out to a bar. Let's see if I can find somebody with whom I can share this sexual energy. But what I'm doing now is I'm embracing the energy and experiencing it and feeling it without resisting it. Not being afraid of it. Welcome it. Spend some time with it. Feel it. Just feel it without doing anything with it or putting a name to it or identifying it or trying to attach it to anything. And just be with the energy. And then pretty soon, it goes away. And instead of, as it used to do when I was a young whippersnapper, it would push me around, right? So finally, I'm getting to that point in my life. Amazing. I'm actually maturing emotionally relative to sexual energy. Incredible at my age. So I'm not saying I'm there yet, but it's a process. It's a process of getting honest about what you feel and then not being afraid to feel things.
So that, I see where you're going with this. You're going to tie it together with the same thing about working with feelings.
Any feelings.
And not having our feelings dictate to us
how to behave. Or that they can tell us what to do. Or how, I feel angry, therefore I'm going to express anger. I feel ashamed, therefore I'm going to act ashamed. I'm feeling fear, therefore I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to fully embody fear. I feel unhappy, therefore I'm going to feel unhappy. I feel just disturbed, I'm going to be disturbed. It's like, no, it's like you feel those things, but you don't have to let those feelings tell you how to be.
Well, and what that's causing me to think about right now is the fact that just because we have feelings sometimes doesn't mean they're ours.
Well, that's true too.
We're a part of this whole body of mankind, so I think our capacities in a lot of ways are, there's an expressive part and a receptive part, and maybe we're picking up on something from somebody or some other person or some other experience someone's having.
Yeah, we're all connected. So who knows, by handling a certain feeling and maintaining what I would call dominion or personal control. And when I say control, I'm not talking about stuffing it down or shoving it out of the way, or I'm not going to pretend that's not going to control me. It's like, no, feel it. Be willing to feel it. Let it be there. Just bathe in it. Bathe in the fear. Bathe in the sexual arousal. Bathe in anxiety. Bathe in any of it, because it can't touch you.
It can't touch
and
you.
It can't control you.
Yep.
Only if you let it, will it. So we have that power.
Yep.
I don't want to get
too
long-winded in this thing.
So maybe that's good for now.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay.
I think you guys have probably had enough. It's a real intense topic. This could be pushing a lot of buttons. A lot of you probably already signed off. Not wanting to hear this, right?
Yeah.
But you'll come back.
We're talking to nobody, right?
Yeah, nobody's there. Hello? Anybody there? So anyway, we're going to proceed as if there is somebody watching, and we're going to say thank you very much for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
If there's anything about what we're talking about that is useful, like we always say, post a comment, subscribe to our channel, because we're not going to BS anybody. We're gonna. It's all about getting really real.
Yep.
Because that's what's needed right now.
Yep.
There's no beating around the bush. There's no getting away from our stuff now. It's all coming up.
Yeah.
We are in a day of reckoning.
Oh boy, big time.
For everybody.
There's no way out of this.
And there's no way out. And this day of reckoning is going to take a period of time, and who knows what that is, but it's exciting.
And if we can inspire in some of you to be the wonderful being that you are, and take hold of your capacities and move forward and be that shining light in the world that you can, and I'm going to continue to be a shining light in my world to the best of my ability. I want to continue doing this. I have no interest in being about the old world here. I have no interest in it anymore. Absolutely none.
Yep.
Except for maybe a lot of money and a nice house. I have no interest in it. I have no interest in it. I really don't.
That's true. He doesn't, neither do I.
Yep.
So that's what you're going to get from us. Yep. And so you know that now. So,
oh, by the way, just so you know, we have been in the last couple of days, the last week or so,
Yeah.
unbelievable intensity.
Yeah.
Unbelievably.
Bet you have too.
Yeah, but just really trying times. But the cool thing is that because I'm keeping my focus on ascension and on transmutation and on being the light and being the light, when you do that in the midst of all of these intensities, those intensities, you end up transmuting. You change your consciousness. It's like I'm not the same person I was a week ago.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like when you say change your consciousness, it's not like it changes the whole thing. It's incremental. There's like we take back a little bit more, or not take it back, but we're changing little bits at a time. And like you said, it happens a little at a time.
But I want to challenge that. I think that even when a little piece of consciousness changes, because the whole is made up of the parts, and it's a hologram.
Yeah, you're right.
That when that little piece changes, the whole thing changes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I stand corrected. That's true.
Yep. So I think when our consciousness changes, it all changes. So when we do these small things, little acts, little simple, seemingly insignificant acts, it changes much, much more than what we might think. So we love you. Yep.
Hang in there.
Yep.
It's all going to be okay.
Yep.
And we're going to keep doing this, and we will see you soon.
Yep. Blessings to you all.
Blessings to you guys.
Keep the light shining.
Yep.
Keep loving. Oh, this wise man one time said, "Let love radiate without concern for results."
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.